Thank you for sticking with us through that ad break, folks, as we begin today in history. 72 years ago today, the U.S. Supreme Court made their ruling on what is arguably one of the most important cases in American history, Brown v. Board of Education. Now, you and I might hear someone say that an African American and white folks are all people, and that all of us should be treated equally and should have access to the same employment opportunities, public spaces, and overall should be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And I would like to assume you and I can both agree that that is true and makes perfect sense. However, in the time between the Emancipation Proclamation and this ruling, that of Brown v. Board of Education in 1954, most states held to the idea of separate but equal, which allowed for both government entities and private businesses to establish separate spaces and utilities for black and white Americans. During this time, entire towns would refuse to let African Americans move into their neighborhoods, with one unfortunate example being my hometown of Grand Haven. During this time, entire divisions of the U.S. military, anywhere from 10,000 to 15,000 soldiers, would be entirely made up of segregated African Americans, who often served primarily support roles, i.e. mechanics, cooks, transportation personnel, basically any role that they could serve unarmed. And while these examples might not affect the average Joe, there were many that affected everyone, such as color-only toilets, drinking fountains, waiting rooms, bus seats, schools, sections of restaurants, event centers, and sports arenas, and so on and so forth. But most tragically, segregation removed one of the most potent weapons against racism: communication. Think about it like this. If you spent your entire life being told and genuinely believing that African Americans are monsters, how they're violent, they're rude, they're disrespectful, and you never really met and talked to an African American, you could probably continue to believe that for the rest of your life. But by simply sitting down and talking to an African American, you would soon find that they're people, just like anyone else. And one of the best examples of this is Daryl Davis, who was a black musician who combated racism by befriending racists, and at one point even became friends with the Imperial Wizard of the KKK in Maryland, who would later go on to denounce his role in the KKK, leaving the organization, all because Daryl Davis asked, "Why do you hate me when you know nothing about me?" To this day, the effects of Brown v. Board of Education can be felt all over the country, as our country continues to grow more diverse and kinder than ever before, where we can all live mostly in peace and harmony, where the law doesn't force us apart, but allows us to come together as one nation that will forever stand stronger for it. With all that being said, this concludes our part of the daily program, and after this next short ad break, we will be returning for the weather forecast.